What is up? Welcome to another episode of 8-Bits version 0.9. I'm djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP. Just two players, just a co-op. No third player this week, but excited to be back because I was at a wedding last week, JP, and I was best man to the world famous Robert Suma, who many may remember from the Epileptic Gaming and Call and Brawl days. And he's doing great, and obviously he's the same old Suma. We even got some time to get some video games in between pretty much setting up the wedding and doing the wedding, and it was on a lake, and it was a lot of fun. But missed the show, so we got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited to do so. Buddy, what is up? How are you?
Not much, man. I woke up this morning about 9:30. I went to sleep with a little bit of a itch in the back of my throat. Woke up and I think I'm getting sick, so I immediately rushed up to the grocery store and bought some Ricola, 2 packs of aloe vera tissues, got some 24 packs of water, some Mucinex, some NyQuil. I'm ready. I'm ready for this this cold, so I'm gonna try to beat it before it even gets me sick.
It's always a good idea, man, to try to get in front of it, try to beat it. You're a trooper, because I know getting on air when you just don't feel that great is not that much fun.
Yeah,
so
it's not the best.
We'll all be nice to JP today.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so I do want to just, like, before we hop into the world of video games, talk about what we've been playing and all that stuff. So at this lake that we were at, it was it was at Lake Travis, which is down near San Antonio and Austin. Yep. And the level of the lake was like 40 feet below what it was supposed to be. And it was just like one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen, just because there were all these dry docked boat docks that just, couldn't even reach the water because they couldn't go that far. And it was pretty wild to see, but yeah, it was quite amazing. So I feel real bad for all those folks out there that really do need the rain, and I hope you get some.
We've actually got some. It's been raining. It started raining last night around 8, and it hasn't really stopped. It's drizzling right now, but it's fluctuating on and off pretty hard.
Drizzle something, man. Drizzle something.
Yeah, I think it's because there's like tropical storms south of us or some shit. I don't know, man. I'm not a weather man. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not either. I'm not either. And then, of course, I got to actually have some lunch with my family and JP's family on his birthday, which was totally
weird.
Awesome. It was. How it worked out.
Man.
It was just like, yo, can we do brunch? And I'm like, fuck, man, I don't even think we're going to be able to leave from there. It's like, okay, well, let's try to do some lunch. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And like everything just worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, my mom was like, so do you call him DJ? Is it Wheat? What do you call him? I was like, his name's Marcus. He's like, oh, okay. I thought his name was DJ, and then he added Wheat to it because he lives in Nebraska. And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. It's Marcus Grant.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, guys, he has this e-cig. The smoke won't hurt you. Don't worry about it. It might smell a little like cherry.
I don't think I used it in the restaurant.
No, I saw you like kind of playing with it throughout lunch. I was like, man, you really want to take a hit of that, don't you?
In the rest, it depends. Obviously, if I was there by myself, I totally would have done it. But.
Yeah, and James, of course, the star of the table.
Yeah.
My family was enthralled with him. And I think he enjoyed putting on the show.
He's quite the entertainer, that mini wheat.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
He's just open to new people, which you don't see very much in kids that age, where he'll fucking talk about anything. It doesn't matter.
Like JP yesterday on Climbing the Ladder, like we were talking about the whole concept of like a lot of people watch James and they like see him play Payday 2 or they see him play, Left 4 Dead, and they're like, why would you let your, and then I'm like, if you could spend 5 minutes with my son, you would understand why I give him a lot of freedom, because he's very sociable, and it is just a game to him. And I don't know. I'm glad it turned out. That was a lot of fun though. That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Oh yeah, I
Good
never
food.
got. How did you like your card?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. Thank you for the card. You know what I was impressed by, Wheat?
What?
The fact
What?
you got my age right. Did you Wikipedia me when you bought that card? Is that what you
Shit,
did?
man. Come on, man. Of course I didn't, but my wife did.
There you
Yeah!
go.
Yeah! Nice
I told my
job,
parents, I was
Jen.
like, well, they actually got my age right. They must have Wikipedia'd me. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, don't worry about it.
That is
Oh,
fucking
God.
hilarious, JP.
Yeah,
So those
that's
that
good.
don't know, there's Liquipedia is the teamliquid.net. It's for the sort of for StarCraft 2 and Dota and for Brood War. And so if you've sort of worked in StarCraft, you likely
Yeah.
have a page and it's got your age on there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's always a great way when it is someone's birthday to be like, bro, just in case it's one of those special birthdays. But I wanted to know because I got JP a card that was for an 8-year-old, and then I just wrote in like the twos.
Yeah.
So, they weren't quite as cute as like the 4-year-olds. So if you were a little bit younger, it would have been even better. But
There you go.
either
There
way.
you go.
All right.
Oh, and also, I gotta
Oh.
ask,
What?
so everyone always says I look exactly like my brother. Do I look exactly like my brother?
Well, your brother had facial hair.
He's got like a full-on beard.
Yeah, so it's really, to me, it's harder to
Okay.
compare. I don't know.
Okay. I look like my dad now with my haircut, I think.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep. Except my entire hair is not silver. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm
Okay,
getting
let's
there.
start. Let's start.
Okay,
talking
let's
about
start.
video
What
games.
the hell have we been playing this week? Yeah, we've got also the Tokyo Game Show going on, a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 news, and we're probably going to be covering all. But what the fuck we've been playing? Fuck it, I'll start it. So
Go
my
ahead.
first one is actually something that I didn't get to talk about the last time on the show because I think we talked about it and then I played it that weekend, but we didn't have it, and that was Outlast. And I just got to say, I love horror movies. I love scary shit, and JP, this game was just perfect for me in every way. Like,
Yeah.
the concept of the video camera, and I love watching stupid shit like Ghost Hunters. And
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the imagery of the night vision camera is something that my eyes are very familiar with. And when I watch those shows, I'm always just waiting for that scary shit to pop out and for something to happen. And usually it never does. But in this game, they made sure that it always did. And it never got old. And it never got to the point, JP, where it's like, okay, well, the scares are so overdone that they just like, I'm desensitized to them. Like,
Right.
up to the final moment, this game had me, oh, shit, damn, like jumping and scared. Really, really hard to do, I think, when you're making a game like that. And
yeah.
I have got to say that Outlast, hands down, it goes on. If I'm making a top 10 list of 2013 games for djWHEAT, Outlast is so on that list right now. And
Yeah.
there could be other games that might bump it out, but I would say that this game will be one that I will never, ever forget the experience. And, like, these guys, well done. I'm really, really happy. And, I mean, there wasn't hardly anything I could complain about with the game, and that's tough to do.
It was one of those kind of no one really expected it to be as good as it was. I think the dev team is a bunch of ex AAA developers from Montreal, I believe. So they definitely understand like AAA game design and all that stuff. I thought some of the things that they did within the game were really smart. Like the video camera, you really become attached to that thing. 'cause
Yes,
it's kind of your lifeline, right?
Yes.
Which was cool in the first place, but then over the course of the game, like it gets cracked, which is kind of crazy because then it really fucks with you because you're like, oh god, if I lose this, I can't see anything anymore ever. So you really, it was cool how they kind of like made that fake attachment to some random item in the game. And I thought the scares too, like you were saying, it kind of bordered on that disturbing / suspenseful kind of scare.
Yeah.
And
I'd
I
agree with
watched
that.
I watched a good chunk of you playing it on the stream, and the other thing that I was really interested by it's always cool like when you're looking down a hallway in a video game and an AI just passes by and it doesn't do anything except pass by, and it's on like some path. But then that path can change because like you got into this one thing where you were just running around in circles, but the guy wasn't running around in circles with you. Like he would stop and react to a sound or anything like that. So the AI in that game was actually really well done. I was really impressed by how they handled that. I didn't like the end of the game, but
yeah. I mean, I don't. The game wasn't about achieving the end because, it was constantly giving you this, and no spoilers, but the game constantly gives you this feeling of like, oh, you think you're gonna escape? Well, fuck you. Like you watch the exit go by. Like it's not gonna happen. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. So it's constantly like playing this mind game with you. The one thing I have to say for the game design is that the timing of this game is incredible. And someone actually commented on my playthrough. There was this moment where like you are running from these people in the asylum. And it's like it's just the game sort of directs you in the right direction all the time and puts you, like maybe obstacles in that will help with the timing. But there was this one moment where like you get to this gap and I got to it immediately and I'm like, I don't think I can jump that. Like it was the extreme of what you as your character in the game can do. And so I look back, and as I look back, I see a guy like slide around the corner and like stop just for a split moment and then start running at me. And that's when I'm like, well, fuck, I got to jump. And you turn around and you jump, and it creates. It makes me create the cinematic moment, and games being able to do that, they blow my mind. Another great example of it, we talked about it, is in the opening sequence of The Last of Us. Like, you remember playing that? How it was like, it was just that 6 minutes of like, holy shit, and you're running and you just like, you're just sort of always going in the right spot. Outlast was full of those types of moments that they really got me going and just unbelievable. I loved it. I loved it. So good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Those games really aren't my cup of tea. I enjoy watching them more than I enjoy playing them.
Sure.
I think that horror games are the scariest thing when compared to any other like media that can be put into the horror genre. Like movies, I laugh a lot of the times when it comes to like horror movies because I think they're funny in that sense. But like being the person that controls what you're doing adds that sense of like, I guess immersion. I fucking hate that word, but it really does. Like it puts you in that.
It does.
In that world, and it scares the fucking shit out of me. So I can't. I'm not the biggest fan of those games. I think if I ever did play like a true horror game, like I played through Amnesia when it first came out, and it was pretty fucking scary. But I want to play through one of those with an Oculus Rift. I think that would be like the fucking scariest thing in the world.
It really. I think it would be. I think it would be.
For like one good scare, it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait. The dawn will come.
There was this guy actually created some like terrible horror game with the Rift, and he put this guy that had never used one in it and like let him play it. And all the scare was he walks into this room, there's a gargoyle on your right, and you look at it and you're kind of like, well, that's weird. And you walk over to the end of the room. And you collect some item, and when you turn around, the gargoyle is right in your face, but it's still a stone statue. It just moved right next to you. And this guy, he goes over and he picks up the item. He turns around, and it jumps up and like appears right in front of him. He throws the Rift off. He's like, "Fuck that, man! Fuck that!" He just walks out of the room.
I have seen some other videos that are similar to that, and they just showed off the 1080p ones recently at PAX, and the dev ones are still the lower resolution. And I think that when I can get my hands on a 1080p one, that I'm in. I really want to try it out, dude. It's the first time that I feel like that virtual reality has been. I don't even like talking. I don't even like fucking virtual reality. That let's just say this next level of immersion has come to light, and people have been so excited over it, and the people behind it are legitimate individuals who are not only like super outside the box thinkers, but also you know, you look at Carmack's case, a guy that just understands 3D worlds like no one else. Like, I do not believe anyone can think like that man can think when it comes to 3D worlds. That's really fucking exciting. And it's just amazing how many people are like, yo, I got a dev kit. And there's a lot, you know.
They're selling a lot of dev kits.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, there's really not that many games for it out. I think they just announced some type of like indie contest or something where people are actually making games specifically for the Rift and for this indie showcase or something like that. So it'll be really cool to see what comes out of that. Every time we talk about it, I'm like, I should probably buy one, and then.
You know, JP, what do you think though? I mean, seriously, wait for
the HD one's right around the corner.
It is. It is. I mean, dude, God, I can't even. You know, I got a chance to use Google Glass recently, and as cool as the technology was, that my big problem was that it just looks like shit. And you know, like. To really, really get in there, I feel like the resolution's got to match what my eyes expect to see. Otherwise, it's shit. But yeah, you can. I mean, anyone can order
They're going
one.
for like $200 right now on eBay, and I think from them it's like around 300. So I probably won't commit to it just yet because I've got some other fun toys to play with until then. But it looks great. Yeah, it's 300 on their site. Yeah, but looks awesome. Can't wait for more of that. So yeah, Outlast. Go play it if you guys haven't.
Yep.
It's pretty fun.
It's cute.
It's pretty fun.
It's cool. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I guess we'll save GTA towards kind of the end of this because we can transfer it into the news section. I guess the game that I played last would probably be before I went on my trip. I went and grabbed 2 games: Puppeteer and Kingdom Hearts. What is the name of this? Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Final Remix.
EX Plus Alpha.
EX Plus, yeah, Alpha. I never can remember the full name of that, but we'll start with that. Like, I am incredibly impressed with the, like, I guess upscaling that they did, or the remastering they did with the HD. It spits out true 1080p on the PS3. It's not upscaled from 720p or anything. It looks fucking fantastic.
It looked really great when I watched. Yeah.
And you were watching the 720p stream. I didn't actually know that it spits out 1080p till the next day, and then I bumped the stream up to 1080p. So did you have to?
Yeah, I think I saw that, but did you actually have to do that in the settings, or?
I had to do that in the PS3 settings because I had it locked to only show 720p signals for my capture card.
Oh,
it wasn't automatically going
okay,
1080p.
I see.
It just looks ridiculous. I never played the first one either. I played the second Kingdom Hearts, but first one, god damn it, I made the mistake of playing it on Proud mode.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And I made the mistake of picking the sword and then the shield, and then I made the mistake of saying that I wanted to grow old and I wanted to be strong, which makes it so like I think the enemies are harder or something, and you also gain XP slower at early levels, and like the level gaps are wider. Fuck, man, that game's hard as shit. Like I've only gotten through like 3 bosses because GTA came out and I had to play that. But
and it is the bosses, right? Like that's where a lot of the difficulty comes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I did pick Sword Magic. I think maybe that's right. It's the hardest setting I think you can play the game in. I know that much.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna say the difficulty comes from.
Yeah,
what?
the difficulty is really in the boss. Like you can get through a lot of the normal like stage minions, but then you get to the bosses, and literally like 2, 3, 4 hits will kill you in Proud mode, right? Is that?
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's even harder than that. Like, it's usually 2 hits will kill you on a boss, and if you're complacent when it comes to like just the normal game, they'll just fucking like kill you in 3 or 4 hits. So it's really fun to play that and enjoy that because I didn't play it the first time around. So and it looks great. It looks great. So if you have not played the Kingdom Hearts game and you want to jump in on the franchise, which is great to begin with, like jump in on the PS3 remix version because Kingdom Hearts 2 will probably get one if this sells well. I think by then Kingdom Hearts 3 will probably be out on the PS4. So I'm really excited for it.
I've heard a lot of good things. You know, I guess if there's there's anything. I did have some complaints about there not being a Japanese track. There were some people in your channel, though, when you were streaming saying that, the final mix was supposed to be a representation of them not changing the game anymore, and that the Japanese generally enjoyed the English track better.
Really?
In one of these,
It has like an all-star cast, man, when it comes to that game for the voice,
and I mean,
voices.
it matches what I think a lot of even they might be used to in a Disney, because I know that used to be the case in some of the Disney movies as well. So, I can accept that. That's cool. Like, there's at least justification for it, and it looks awesome. So,
there's also a bunch of like new scenes in the final mix that weren't in the original one that people pointed out when I played. Yeah, like there's crazy characters like Lance. Is Lance Bass really Sephiroth? Is that right?
I have no idea, dude.
I know that there's Lance Bass in that game, but I don't know if he was Sephiroth or not. Maybe that might be a troll from Cute Zergling. I'm not sure, but I know Haley Joel Osment plays the main character. What is the blonde that used to be in Heroes? She plays
Hayden.
Riku or something like
Hayden.
that. Yeah, Hayden Panettiere. I don't know how to say her last name. But yeah, it's fucking all-star lineup when it comes to the voiceovers. But it is a game that came out in like 2002 or something. So
Right. A lot of these folks
don't
were
expect
kiddies.
like crazy textures. Like expect flat walls with important objects in the middle. It's very minimalistic looking, and I actually think it looks great.
It kind of works because it's that cartoon world hybrid, so it works out quite nice.
It's awesome. I have I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm super excited to play it again when I finish GTA 5. So, which hopefully is today. But we'll get to that in a bit. What else you been playing, man?
So I'm a little late to the party on this one, but have you played Tokyo Jungle or heard about?
So
this
I know, we were talking about this a little bit at lunch. Like, I know a lot about Tokyo Jungle. It was on sale recently for like $6, and I passed on it. But hearing you talk about it, I really want to go back and play it because I know everything, like what the game is and how it plays, but I've never played it myself.
It's a very interesting game, JP. Yeah, so I mean, I got it. It's almost been out for a year now. Which is just totally crazy. I got it. I got it just recently and played it for the first time. And yeah, it's basically the world. Everyone's gone. Animals have kind of taken over, and you basically choose an animal, and you've got all these different challenges, and you unlock new animals, and every animal, like, some animals can obviously like kill shit in 1 or 2 hits, but maybe they are constantly getting hungry, or they have to eat a lot, so you have to hunt, and then you breed new generations, and you have packs, and it is one of these curiously interesting games that I can't explain why I keep hitting start to play again. You know what I mean? Like,
it is kind of grindy in that sense.
There's nothing extraordinary.
So I will say
about the game.
I know towards the end of the game that the story actually unfolds.
Really?
And there's actually story, and it explains why the world is the way it is.
Okay, well, I've just kind of played the survival, so but maybe I haven't even really gotten into it, which is
there's I forgot what it was, but there is a story that starts to be kind of presented to you of why everything is the way it is, and I think you find it in, like, I don't know, maybe it's audio recorder or some shit like that. So keep playing that game. Plus, it gets fun as shit because you unlock like lions and like cheetahs.
That's the other thing too.
There's dinosaurs. I think towards the end,
it's kind of crazy. Like, it's funny too because You know, like I'm in that stage where like I'm starting to get to the small cats and like wolves and hyenas. Like that's about how And so I go in. I've got this badass pack of hyenas, and these like super aggro
Yeah.
beagles actually killed my whole pack. Like, and I'm like, fucking
What did you start out
beagles.
as? Because you could start as like a Pomeranian and a deer, right? I think those are the
Yeah,
two.
no, the
two.
Pomeranian, because I'm not a big
Yeah,
fan of this. Like, I see that. So, you can choose to be a vegetarian, right?
yeah,
A
yeah,
herbivore. So that's like the stealth version of the game. Fuck
yeah,
that noise. I'm
yeah.
not having any of that. I'll play as the fighters all day long. But it's a download. I think it might be like $10 now.
I think it's 10 or 15. Yeah,
Okay.
it might actually be on sale for PS Plus members still this month. I'm not too sure, but it's cheap. It's a lot of fun. It's grindy in the sense that you of course have to like grind to your next animal. So the
Yeah.
music, if I recall, was actually really good as well.
Everything is pretty good, even in like the animations of the
Yeah.
animals themselves. Um, yeah,
And there's animal husbandry in it, so you get to mate
yeah.
to
This
expand
is
your pack basically. And
this is true.
it's a fun game though. It's a pretty fun game.
This is
I,
true.
I still it's one of those games that's kind of in the backlog and
Oh yeah, you can get items for your. Look at that wool beanie, scarf, and a raincoat on that
yeah. And there's
cat.
also DLC I believe for it or something like that. I think they released some sort of add-on package. Um, but yeah, like there's dinosaurs in it, which is crazy. Like I think you can actually get to like be a T-Rex or a saber-toothed tiger or something.
Yeah,
Fucking
like I
weird.
said, it's
It's fucking
weird.
weird.
I
It
can't
is a
explain it.
Japanese ass game. Is
It
what it
says
is.
5.0 mediocre, but
That's the score they gave it,
yeah,
really?
they gave it 5.0.
I thought it was like beloved by critics. Well, whatever. GameSpot gave GTA a 9.0, right? And that got 17,000 comments. So that's where the true
Yeah,
comments should have been. Is
yeah.
on the
Users, the Metacritic 74 users at least gave it a 7.8. So
There you
fuck
go.
you. Fuck.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Slasher. Way to be on top of that, Slasher. Way to go.
Exactly. Exactly. What else? I guess the other game that I purchased was Puppeteer. I played the first 2 acts of it. I believe there are. I want to say it was 30 acts or maybe
Oh.
it's 15 acts. I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
sure. It's a decently long game. I want to say it's around
Hmm.
10 hours plus. But it is a crazy, crazy game. And it is. Oh, there's 7 acts with 3 in it, so 21 levels. Each one's about 30 minutes. That's what it was.
Dude, this
Okay.
looks amazing. I really haven't paid much
Puppeteer
attention to this.
is-
Everyone's been talking about it though.
It is a fucking crazy game. It is just insanity with the story and everything like that. And it looks really fucking good. Like so well done. I played it a little bit with 3D last night because it was the only 3D game I had, and I bought a new TV that had 3D, so I wanted to test it out. But it looks all right. The way it's presented it's kind of the way I kind of look at it is it's Little Big Planet, but it's actually a video game, if that makes sense. Like it's not make your own video game or make your own levels or play through levels that someone else made. It's like a full-on actual video game with a full-on story. It's based around these 3, the idea that you have a head and you are a puppet that you can replace your head with, and
Yeah.
you always have 3 no matter what, so those are kind of your lives. It's not hard by any means, but there's certain heads that you'll like pop through and see a little icon down in the bottom, somewhere on the world behind you, and if you use that head, then you're accessing like a bonus level or like a secret room or more coins or the equivalent of coins in the game, etc. It's really well done. It's funny. It's got humor to it. It's got
It's
kind
like a
of this weird
platformer,
narrative.
right?
Yeah, it's a very simple platformer.
God, it looks really incredible. And this
It
is
maybe
a
has like 5
–
buttons total.
a
Yeah, it's
Sony
a Sony
studio?
game. Yeah. It's crazy though. It looks fantastic. It looks great. It's one of those games that I will be revisiting in kind of October when we have a dry month of video games before the big stuff in November. So I can't wait to go back to that as well as Kingdom Hearts. It looks great. It's a fun game.
And okay, so it's a $40 game. It's not a full-on title.
Yeah, it's only $40.
I'm gonna have to watch.
And
some
so is Kingdom
videos of
Hearts,
that.
by the way. It's not $50.
Yeah. Watch
I
some
bought both
videos
those
of
on the
that.
same day. But yeah, it's fun. It's cute. It's whimsical. It's really good.
Awesome.
And it's PS3 only.
So another game I sort of rediscovered, and I'm sure you guys have all played now. There's some relevant news that goes with it because it sounds like they are working on a new Kickstarter. But I really love this game. I loved it when it first came out, and they've made some additions to it. But that game is awesome, knots, and I'm sure that whether it's on PC or one of the consoles that you guys have probably played, they're working on Starstorm, which is the expansion, and because the expansion,
It's called Starstorm. They just took the whole name. Is it Awesome Not Starstorm?
yeah, awesome,
Oh,
not
okay.
Starstorm. My bad.
Gotcha.
So basically, I was like, let's play it. I played a little bit with Suma, and looks like they're actually having a stream soon on Twitch. But I think they're going to be adding a spectator mode, which is pretty badass, so that you can watch people, including replays. They're trying to get to another new character, but this game is fun as shit. I don't. You've played
So
it, right?
it's kind of no. I know what it is, but I don't know.
Oh,
what it is.
really?
It's like a MOBA, but it's 2D, right?
Oh man, maybe we should play some of this.
I think I have it,
JP.
or someone gifted it to me or something. But it's like it's a MOBA arena that's 4-person. That's 2D, right?
It's actually
get the gist of it?
3-person,
Okay.
unless like on PC they expanded it, but I believe that it's only 3-person. Yes, it's a 2D MOBA. There are minions. There are towers. You obviously have your heroes, and these heroes can get different loadouts, which then you level up in the game. So before the game goes in, you choose sort of the loadout that you want to get. Now, the game is not perfect by any means, JP. Like, there's a lot of ways to just like easy lose
Oh, really?
by having a bad comp against another comp. The scaling's a little bit weird like that. But the thing is, like, it's just an always action, like platforming MOBA. It's a lot of fun just to.
How long are the games? Are they short? Are they long?
Yeah, the games can be anywhere from about 10 minutes to 25, maybe max.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, like I'm not sure on Steam. I think that I'll even look it up right here. Miniwheat says it's on Steam. Yeah, it's $10 on Steam. You can get some of the
Oh, it's
DLC.
cheap.
I don't know if they have the DLC characters. I don't know if they have like a super pack or something. It doesn't look like it. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, he says mostly the DLCs are just skins, so
Oh,
he knows
okay.
he's all up in
It's the
that.
Awesome Knots Pro.
Apparently, we'll have to check that out and play it sometime. It's actually a ton of fun, so worth checking out. And keep an eye on the. I mean, it's not they're still working on the final stretch for their new Kickstarter, but I'm sure the expansion pack will be coming soon.
Huh. Well, what else do I have in there? Well, I guess before I even get to GTA, I've been playing a lot of BF3 lately, man. Are you a big Battlefield guy? Or have you played it before?
I played a few of the Battlefields, and I just, I think just, I prefer Quake type, FPSs more than sort of that. And so if I do, I'm usually just playing with friends.
Did you play 1942 at all? Back when it was like actually a really fun game.
I played a little 1942 back in the day.
1940. So the reason that I enjoy Battlefield 3 or Battlefield in general, the series, and I can always go back to it, and why I think it's superior to pretty much every other tactical or I guess modern day shooter is the fact that there are moments within the Battlefield game that you can have that happen in no other video game. Just like these crazy moments where you're driving a buggy and a fucking plane crashes in like right in front of you that was driven by a player, and you have to swerve to the left, but then a helicopter's coming in. Like, just the craziest shit can happen in Battlefield games, and for me, it really just, it's the most fun ever. Like, I can always go back to those games and always have fun after like 2 or 3 months. I probably played, I don't know, like 30 hours of it this month. I've really played a lot. And I didn't expect to.
What
but...
I mean, the game looks beautiful. Like, I've always, especially BF3,
oh, yeah,
like,
it
looks freaking amazing. But like, what is it, JP? Like,
I don't know what it is. I think it's just those moments of like having crazy shit happen that I love, like just love so much. It's always silliness. And it's so much fun to play with people that you know, like in Skype. Like, I played with my brother last week, and he's not even that big of a... I mean, he plays a lot of games, but he doesn't really play that many, like, I guess, competitive games like this, or FPSs. And, like, we were on this map that had jets on it, and neither of us can fly at all, but we just kept getting in the jets and, like, fucking being terrible, but it was still a shit ton of fun. Not only because we pissed off our entire team because we were just getting in these jets and dying in about 2 seconds because we couldn't take off, but it was just when we were able to fly, it was a shit ton of fun.
So what kind of mode do you?
I play kind of everything. The thing that sucks is that there's been like 6 DLC packs for it, I think, and it might have been the final one that they released. They put in a CTF mode, a capture the flag mode, and it is an insane amount of fun because like the flag can be carried into like a Humvee or like a helicopter that'll transport you across the map. So it creates like this sense of, holy fuck, they're in a helicopter and they're going fast as shit across the map. I have to figure out something to do. See, that's crazy shit right here that you're showing with the plane and the Humvee. Like, that happens all the time. I was enthralled by that.
I mean, that is kind of funny shit.
And so I guess what I've been doing is getting prepped on October 1st. BF4 starts its beta, which everyone's going to be able to play. Or sorry, I guess BF3 Premium pre-orders and Medal of Honor Premium or some shit like that. On the 4th is when everyone will be able to play it. But it's going to be awesome. I'm hoping that they put CTF in the full game that comes out at the end of October, because I think that's probably the most fun mode that they've put into a BF3 game in a long time. But Conquest is fun, Rush is fun, a bunch of modes if you've played BF3. Conquest is kind of I guess the most common Battlefield type mode, where you sit at a point and try to capture it, and then tickets kind of tick down. They were the first ones to introduce that. I think a lot of people have taken it. Rush is it's kind of like 2 bomb site Counter-Strike, where you bomb 2 points and then it expands the map and you're able to go further down and the enemies start spawning further back. There's a bunch of different game modes. The only thing that sucks is that it uses Origin and it uses this battle log, this internet interface that is kind of shit. But I mean, you don't really interact with Origin except to boot it up, right? So I can get by that.
Yeah, it does.
Origin shit.
It does.
But yeah, I can't wait for BF4, man. That game looks incredible.
Maybe when 4 comes out, I'll have to jump in on some of the action.
Dude, it's October 1st or 4th.
I'll be the newbie with you guys.
Dude, it's fun. I got a server up. Huge shout out to the multiplayer guys. They gave me a server for a month. 64-person server for free. That shit's actually expensive as shit. So multiplay's hooking it up. I think they're gonna give me a BF4 one as well. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, BF3 is a great game. Battlefield series, I love it. I've always loved it. It's where I get my FPS fix these days.
All right.
Because there's no other FPS fix.
That's true. That is true.
So I got to get it somewhere.
All right. So my next one is kind of like twofold. So first off, iOS 7 came out. It's pretty great. I don't want to hear people say, "Oh yeah, you finally got some stuff that the Android phone got," because we could go back and forth on that all day long. The good news is that they changed a lot, and they they did a good job with it. But in addition to iOS 7 come out, which I totally again I totally love and encourage anyone to just download it and install it and go for it. Infinity Blade 3 came out, which, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's the final game in a trilogy released by Chair that was made to originally show off the Unreal Engine on the iOS.
Yeah.
And Infinity Blade 1 was a cool game because it had some innovation, but it was like rather grindy, and the story was very simplistic. And then they were like, wow, well, people kind of like this, so they broadened the story a little bit, and 2 came out, and it was a little bit more of the same, but they added a lot more variety.
I just downloaded 2.
Right?
Like 3 weeks ago because it was free for
a week. 3 JP is the game that they've been wanting to make the last 2 times.
Really?
And it's really fucking good because the way it works is like, imagine in 2 you go through, that opening section which you cross the bridge. So actually 2 is one of the stages inside 3.
Oh,
and
so
there
are
not only multiple stages, but there are 2 different characters that you play.
Really?
So you play different stages for both the characters, and there's a couple stages where they overlap. And it makes for, not only are they expanding and kind of wrapping up the story, but they're just like, there's so much shit to, like, so many different swords and shields and rings and armors, and now they have an upgrade system and a gem cutter, and it's almost like a swipe Diablo now.
Really?
Yeah.
So they drop items?
What? Where
drop, like...
there's constantly items and like chests that you're opening up. And then as you upgrade, now they changed the way that upgrading works. So there are skills attached to the upgrade trees that you go, which are still like magic, health, weapon, and shield. But as you unlock, go higher, then you unlock different things. So like the girl, Issa, now, she's like a thief. So in the previous games, you had to like grind out and buy keys to open these chests, but now you can like buy a skill that eventually she can like open up small and medium chests, like like no big deal. So they're giving you a lot more opportunity to get stuff. Like a lot of time you see these games and you're like, oh, it's just that grindy in-app purchase model, but at every turn I'm getting money or in-game currency or new weapons, and it's really well done. Let's not forget that the game looks fucking incredible, dude. I can't believe I'm playing it on an iPad. And
so you have an iPad 3, right?
I have the newest one, Retina. Yeah.
So in comparison to the iPhone 5S, is that similar? Is the iPhone 5S have a stronger chip?
I believe that it does have one step. It basically goes like
the game
5.
can look even better, right?
I don't know that it would necessarily look better. I think that it might load faster.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, I don't think that...
It's been a long time since I've played like an Infinity Blade game. So I forgot that there were even items in it that you equip your character. That was the huge grind to it.
Yeah. So, guys, this is Infinity Blade 3 you're talking about. If you've got an iPad or a new iPhone, if you've never played an Infinity Blade, this is the one. In fact, they give you a really good synopsis of the story anyway. It's not really that hard to understand what's happened up to this point. It's all about a fucking sword called the Infinity Blade, and it has a little bit of like this Assassin's Creed story going where you are awakened in that when you die, you are basically like come back and you're a new body with your experiences and whatnot. It's good shit. Good shit. Amazing that is a mobile game. Just freaking amazing.
Fuck, man. You might have just... How much is it? Is it
It's $6.99, And someone that you know just gave you an iTunes card, so you have no excuse to buy it.
I watched World War Z, by the way. I rented that from You know what? Let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
For the longest time, Wheat, I obtained movies, TV shows, things that you watch and listen to.
Sure.
In, let's say, the not proper way.
Sure. Sure.
And now I'm just like, it's such a fucking hassle when I could just open iTunes and rent a movie for $5 and get a 1080p feed that looks incredible, right? So I've been watching a lot of movies through iTunes lately. And I watched World War Z. Did you see that?
Yep, I did.
I thought it was pretty good. The ending was shit, but everything leading up to the ending was good.
It's not bad.
It was good.
But I have to agree with you in this world of digital age, like, you know, so now they have disc to digital. So we're like getting rid of everything. Man, we're just like,
what is disc to digital?
Disc to digital is like, so I mean, I just have like DVDs up the wazoo, dude. Like, I mean, when it comes to movies, I would definitely label myself a collector. And so we just take these discs and you go to like voodoo.com and you put the disc in, and then it verifies that you have the movie, and you pay X amount, and it makes and then like if you do like X number at a time, you get a huge discount and a bunch free. So it's just, we've been putting everything out to the cloud. We've got like hundreds of movies in the cloud now, but it's amazing because I can be on a plane, I can be in a hotel room, we could be at the lake like we were this weekend and just be like, oh, let's look, we can watch anything in our fucking library. It's amazing. I love that. But I'm with you, like, it's so much easier to just be like, oh, here we go.
Companies finally fucking understood.
Yeah, they do. Exactly. If you make it available to us, guess what? Like, it's going to get bought. Like,
exactly.
Fuck, bless their hearts. Like, finally.
There is, the last thing I'll say on this topic, there was a keynote that Kevin Spacey gave at I think it was in England pretty recently, where he was talking about the rise of Netflix, and because he did House of Cards, of course, on that network, on Netflix. It was fascinating. I think it was about 30, maybe 40 minutes long. I wish I could find it, but it is so fascinating to hear him talk about that and how everything's shifting over. He mentions Breaking Bad and how Netflix basically made that as popular as it is today. Because like the first 3 seasons, no one really watched it. They had shit ratings, but the company stood by it. AMC stood by it, knew that it was a good show. And then by season 4 and 5, everyone that has Netflix watched it. And so now it's the fucking biggest show in the world thanks to that. And it's just Netflix and everything like that is making piracy a pretty hard thing to do these days. And it's awesome because I would much rather pay a nominal fee, which I was already paying for a Usenet account, than now I just pay for movies. So
yeah, right, exactly.
It's great. It's great.
I also I don't have cable anymore. I
don't either. Yeah,
I don't see myself having cable. I see myself continuing to stack on services. Like at this point, I pay about 10% of what my cable bill was. So guess what? Yeah. If 5 streaming services started tomorrow and it just further increased my ability to be able to watch content immediately, fucking I'm in, dude. I don't even think twice about that shit. Not to mention, JP, like the iPad itself for me has become the 21st century television, like a CBS app, an NBC app, an ABC app, Netflix, Hulu, like all the major networks basically have their content for me to watch maybe the next day, but it's only going to be a matter of time before I can pay a fee and like have my live television streamed right to me. Yeah. I mean, as much as I hate to say I'm sorry to the affiliates out there, and they'll always be around for a long time, just like radio, but this is how I see more and more people consuming media all the time.
I bought the TV that I bought last night. We don't have cable in this house. It's pointless to pay the $100 or however much they're fucking charging you now. But It's a smart TV, so it had Netflix apps. I immediately installed that.
Yep.
And it looks fucking better than TV does. And I don't get any stupid artifacting because it's not coming through a fucking feed.
Yep.
It's coming over the wire. So
yeah. And you know, to kind of bring it back to 8-bits, because this is a show about video games.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that I do credit Microsoft with, because I do understand their philosophy on why don't we work towards making an entertainment machine that is, you know, that could be your cable box and your video game machine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I think it's easier for Microsoft to do because they're a U.S.-based company. When you consider like Sony's initiatives, you know, they consume TV. Their TV's a lot different. So I think it's harder for them. They just know, well, these guys like to play video games, so we can make a video game system. But I do wonder how successful that side of, you know, the Xbox One will be from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was my final game, Infinity Blade, and somehow we got into that.
So we've got. Let's talk about GTA 5 because we're coming up on the hour here. We'll talk about GTA 5 after the break. I guess the last thing, I kind of mentioned the TV, but I don't have anything to really say about it other than it's a new TV. I put that I tried 3D stuff out. It came with glasses and all that. 3D's kind of cool. I played a couple games with it. I mentioned that. Yeah, I guess let's just take our break, and when we come back, we can talk about GTA 5. Unless there's something you want to add.
Why don't we just do this? I mean, why don't we just talk about real quickly the fact that GTA 5 made $800 million on its opening day, and then made made another $1 billion over. Well, no, I'm sorry, up to $1 billion in the 3 days that it's been out. No, we're not talking about PAX Prime. We're talking about Izubi. This is crazy, JP. This is better than movie openings.
Oh, by a large fucking mark. By like a fucking huge percentage.
Yeah, and
it's double what movies make.
Right.
Maybe triple.
It sets a new record. It obviously is an anticipated game and franchise, and this is what happens when you build when you're able to build a franchise that people love. I'm surprised and flabbergasted, but at the same time, JP, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on this, though?
I mean, we'll get into the game after the break, but $1 billion fucking dollars in 3 days. Like, the game cost $300 million to make, so they already made that back. Almost 3 times. Or no, I guess they've twice. Whatever. Fuck math on a stream. I hate doing this shit. But it's crazy that it sold $1 billion. I saw a comment on Reddit that I don't want to just steal this for my own thought, because it's brilliant. But someone pointed out the fact that we will probably never see something like this for another couple of years, because the reason this sold so well is the last time when GTA 4 launched, the install base of the consoles wasn't that high. And now, 5 years later, there's 1 billion 360s out there, and there's 1 billion PS3s out there. So there are so many more people that are able to actually play this game. And now with the new consoles less than 2 months out, you'll probably never see another game sell this much for a very, very long time. The only thing that could do it is maybe Call of Duty Ghost, but that's probably going to be split because everyone's going to be waiting for the new consoles to purchase it then. So it's crazy to think about that games sell as much as there are systems to play them on, if that makes sense. The other thing, too, is...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's a cool perspective.
What if they sold that on the PC as well? How much more money would they have made? I think they would have made a shit ton more money.
Oh, dude, I think they would have hit
They would have broke 1 billion in a day.
Yeah, I think so.
They would have hit 1 billion in a day.
I think that right now they'd be sitting at 1.5.
Yeah.
I really do. I really, really do. I mean, obviously with Steam and the way, like, I really do. No doubt about it. Just no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit more in depth. JP is going to give some of his thoughts and reactions to the game. He's not quite through it. I've stayed away.
Have you still not got it yet?
No, God damn it. I don't know what to do, JP. I don't know
Well,
what
I'll give
to
my thoughts on it after the
do.
break, and you can make your decision then.
I know. It's one of these things. You guys got to understand my history with Grand Theft Auto is that I have this really bad habit of picking the game up and then playing it for a while and then never completing it.
I'm the same way, man.
And
I'm right there
so
with you.
I'm really worried that I would just have this happen in 5. But anyway.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk
Let's
about
take a
DJ
break.
Fallon more.
If you don't like Grand Theft Auto 5, you can check out Part 4.
There you go.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 8 bits versus 0.9 continues. Thank you for joining us. And, well, when we return, we're going to finally hear some thoughts from JP on Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'll see if I break down or not. So, guys, we'll be right back. Don't go away.